Cue the fireworks. Yes. The Hinman emails will be unredacted. What is the fallout today? That article, as well as several other tweets and articles about a Texas-backed gold cryptocurrency, as well as who did Ripple buy and what strategy did they take when they purchase it, today on OG Crypto and NFTs. Welcome everyone, my name is Troy, and every day we go over the latest news in cryptocurrencies, blockchain, and NFTs. Wow, what a big day. I reported yesterday on the Ripple win there. So James K. Filan on Twitter came out, he is the lawyer for Ripple. And he came out and said, yes, we did get a win yesterday. The Hinman emails will be sent to the public unredacted, probably at the time of the summary judgment. Now, there was more than that in there, but let's jump into Jeremy Hogan's tweet and what he said about this. This was yesterday. He said, did anyone else reading the SEC versus Ripple order on sealing today think the language reads as though at least a large portion of the order of the summary judgment has already been drafted? Anyone? Bueller? So it seems like lawyer and attorney here, Jeremy Hogan, thinks that a majority, if not a lot of people like Fred Rispoli and others in the community think that 90 to 95% is already drafted and that any time now we can get the summary judgment. So what did it say yesterday in that Judge Torres's demand here? She said that the Hinman emails will be sent unredacted, but she did lock up a lot of things, such as people, names, what companies that were involved here in the Ripple SEC lawsuit. Let's keep the names remain. Let's keep the whatever they're talking about, like the ODL. Everything's under wraps. It is sealed, and they will not come out in summary judgment. So things that are on the Ripple side that will come out will be, the finances of what was sold and how much was sold of Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson. So those are going to come out, which are going to be very interesting. But as we know, all these founders out there, it doesn't matter, Ethereum or, Solana or ADA, they've all been selling their stuff all day. So especially at the ICO level, right after the ICO level, those have. Now, we all know that Ripple didn't have an ICO. So this was, coins obtained by both Garlinghouse and Larson, and this is what they sold onto the market themselves, as well as to get the company up. All right, let's jump into Cowboy Crypto. So yesterday we also had after all this came out about what Judge Torres's ruling was, there was a Cowboy Crypto is coming up with it, a Twitter's Spaces, and in there we had Attorney Deaton, and this is very interesting what he says. He kind of goes over what Judge Torres had said yesterday. So let's go listen in here. Again, shout out to Cowboy Crypto for posting this.
Family members' names, the certain ODL client names and cells, because it could affect Ripple's business. Ripple had something sealed successfully, like an audit of their financial statements, past and present, because it could impact, their future. And so the judge said balanced the standards and said those are okay. And the experts for the SEC, their names are sealed.
So that's something what John Deaton said. Again, there are certain things that she made judgments on yesterday that will be sealed, certain things that will unseal and the public will know about. So we're very interested in seeing this, but this is a huge win for Ripple. And on the heels of that, we had, and CNBC came out today, crypto firm Ripple buys Swiss startup as SEC cracks down, forces companies to consider overseas moves. Now, they have a little bit of a different spin on this, but it says blockchain firm Ripple acquired Metaco, a Swiss crypto custody firm, The company announced Wednesday, this is enormous. They bought it for $250 million. They own all stock. So it not only is it a crypto custody firm, but also is a tokenized firm that will hold tokens as well. And they were developing tokens out there for other different companies. This development is huge. When everyone is kind of cutting down everything, they're not spending money, they're laying everyone off, we continue to see Ripple grow. And grow in this environment is exactly what you want. They actually just topped 1,000 employees worldwide. I think at their 8 different locations. They're opening their 9th, I believe. That was in Dubai. So their 9th worldwide location. They are completely a global company buying global assets. This is so bullish for Ripple as we get this, air of a success from Brad Garlinghouse coming out saying, hey, we should beat the SEC. Now we have the Hinman emails, which he said earlier was so shameful of the SEC and not caring about anybody out there, not the retail investor. So we can't wait to see those. And now they're buying this big, this hot Swiss startup company for $250 million. Guys, this just keeps showing that they are looking at the bigger picture and they're not just trying to wind down and survive like many crypto companies. Like we just saw 30,000 Ethereum sold by Vitalik and by the Ethereum Foundation just recently. They also sold a bunch, during the FTX debacle, another 20,000. So they continue to sell themselves, and they're not growing. You're not seeing them anywhere but stay in their little hiding cubbyhole in Switzerland where the foundation's at. All right, let's jump into something that I feel is a big problem here. USDT or Tether says it's buying Bitcoin for stablecoin reserves using realized profits. Guys, come on. I've been saying this now for a little while, but not really pushing the point. Tether itself is completely, it's not transparent whatsoever. No one knows what their assets are. Their market cap today is worth $82.8 billion, but no one really knows what assets they have. They come out and they say, well, we revealed we have 1.5 billion in Bitcoin. Okay, they say they have some gold assets. No one knows. And what's really concerning here is that since they are the 3rd largest crypto company on market cap themselves, why isn't the SEC looking into this? This is based directly off the dollar itself. Okay, so if you're really concerned about retail and you're concerned about all the scams that are going on, this might be the biggest scam of all. Yet they're an offshore company, having a stable coin based off the US dollar offshore. The CEO or the head of this doesn't show his face ever, and we just keep getting bits and pieces. We've got to know that all of our stable coins are backed 100% in dollars. Dollars is what it's based off of. When you base it off of assets like gold or Bitcoin and they drop, you don't see them add dollars. They never say that. They're just going, okay, this is the big problem here. And many people in this industry or in this space continue to say, it's funny that when Tether grows, the Bitcoin price goes up. Meaning, are they just minting it and buying Bitcoin with it? And then they're putting it on their balance sheet? It's very interesting, but we have to have a place in time where they've got to be able to get this out. And that's why I've said it so many times. Why in the last 2.5 years we haven't had just a simple stable coin, bill go through the House and the Senate and get ratified. It doesn't make any sense. It's almost as if the U.S. government has something to do with this. USDT, which is Circle, they're out there and they're showing what they have backing their stablecoin, but Tether continues to get away with it. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I think that there's some kind of scam. I don't know if this is going to be the pump and dump that the government plays on us as they make it harder and harder to buy cryptocurrencies, and this is going to be the ultimate. Let's just pull the rug from underneath it and watch the whole cryptocurrency market just drop to nothing, and then have their buddies scoop in and then buy it all up and then have that as the next financial system going forward. So that's what my thought is. There's no way that you can show me $82.8 billion worth of back dollars in Tether. They are not transparent. Just like a lot of cryptocurrency companies that keep getting pumped right now, no transparency. It's all on speculation. All right, next article here, Texas gold-backed digital currency project. Now, this was adopted, or this began a conversation back on April 3rd through 10th, but today the Texas government went ahead and ratified it, so it locked it in. We're very excited about it. We need gold-backed currencies. We need not to have governments able to print money just out of thin air. And this is what our government did. And that's why we're in the situation we're in. Printing almost $10 trillion in 2021 and then spending $8 trillion is just cause inflation. Every American family on average is spending $400+ every single month because of this. That's why the Federal Reserve doesn't make any sense either. They're not based on anything to do with precious metals or gold, but we continue to see other countries across the world become backed by gold, and they're going to convert their toilet paper, fiat from a paper into digital currencies that are backed by a real asset. And this is what they're going to use and say, look at it. See how why inflation went up is simply because we continue to print whatever we want, whenever we want. Gold, meaning we were on the gold standard through 1971. The amount of borrowing we've done since we got off the gold standard, we're at what, a $31.5 trillion deficit. And right now, this government cannot stop spending frivolously, out of control. It's so funny. This year, we've given more money to Ukraine in the billions than we have in money right now in our reserves. Think about that. We're going to continue to pull money out of retirement, employee, government, retirement funds and give it to a third world, give it to Ukraine for the reason of bombing people, okay, versus caring about keeping the government running because they keep thinking that it's too easy just to go ahead and ask the credit card company to keep raising their debt limit when they're raising the limits after they're at their debt. All right, guys, let's jump into NFTs. Let's bring on Emi. How are you doing, Emi?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Looks like the Secret Service now is getting involved in NFTs.
So I guess they have been involved with NFTs. We're just now finding out about it. I guess they did an AMA, which means Ask Me Anything, on Reddit. And they basically let the cat out of the bag that not only do they hold crypto, they also have an NFT collection, and they see crypto as like a interesting opportunity more than the government has made it seem when they speak publicly about crypto and how much it's been demonized in the media. So it's kind of interesting that they had a very different take than a lot of the others that we've gotten, like I said, from the media. So this is kind of crazy to me. I mean, we've already talked about this before. We know that the government holds Bitcoin and things like that.
Over 200,000 Bitcoin.
But for it to be publicly spoken about like this and that it loves blockchain, I'm a little blown away. But I think as time goes on, we're going to continue to see what's really going on behind the curtain. And this is just a short glimpse.
Well, I think it's a concerted effort to really bud cryptocurrency and to get it down low enough where they're going to bring in their financial buddies, right? So BlackRock, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, because literally this technology can just roll past them and we don't even need a banking system anymore. So they're scared of that. So to bring those people in so that they can continually be relevant. The United States can be relevant and the United States companies can be relevant. This is why they're fighting it over and over. Again, on the Silk Road, and the reason why the majority of Bitcoin that the government owns, it's been seized over some illegal activity. Let's be honest. They're just not buying it off of exchange. They're actually been selling it on exchange. But this is, I really feel that when this administration came in, we and Gary Gensler was, at the SEC, we had this neutrality here that we felt very comfortable with, right? And then it just seems like the second that Sam Bankman-Fried got caught and FTX then filed for bankruptcy, and that was a blue party issue because he was giving so much money to the blue party that now we kind of saw that, you know, this anti-crypto narrative has really been ramped up, right? But this is post, you know, Sam Bankman-Fried, and now we're seeing other parts of the government being very proactive.
Yeah, and it's just interesting that the Secret Service themselves would even do an Ask Me Anything on Reddit.
Yeah.
Like, how much can we really trust these answers that they're giving us? But I just think I just think it's interesting that that's what they said. You know what I mean? I just think it's interesting that's what they decided to say. Okay, and our last story here. So Lego and Epic Games are looking to create a safe, fun metaverse for kids. So this is going to be a metaverse just like any other, except they're focusing on it being family friendly. That's like their big thing about it, that it has to be family friendly and like for anyone and everyone. They did, I want to say, like a $200 million funding that received well, and that's why they got this partnership.
$2 billion.
Oh, $2 billion funding that got this partnership with forward. So I don't love this, I don't hate this, but it's kind of an interesting NFT news.
Yeah. But again, we keep seeing big names coming into the space, wanting some land and then going ahead and developing it there. And then they're trying to make people more comfortable about going into Sandbox, Decentraland, or whatever other spaces that have all these big names there. You know, we talked about Gucci, and now you can go over, you know, 30 names or 40 names. It just continued adoption. And, you know, as only 5% of the population in the United States, and actually it's probably 1% in the world, you know, have some kind of idea or done something that has crypto related. I just think that this is continual adoption. If you can bring kids, and Legos are for kids, right? Let's be very honest. You know, if you can bring kids when they're younger into the blockchain and have them start playing on the blockchain and then having learning on the blockchain, it's just another step in the evolution of blockchain itself. I think it's a bit bigger than that because, okay, pretend you're on the marketing team at Lego and you see something like Fortnite. Or what's the one where you build a lot inside of it? Right, it's yes. I'm looking old right now, but the one where you build your own world. I'm sure someone from Lego looked at that and said, "Oh my God, this is Lego's online, essentially." Right. So now they're doing the exact same thing by creating like their own metaverse. In my eyes, that's kind of what I see here. So I think it's very cool. I mean, again, it's very cool. It just if you can bring more people at a younger age on this, it becomes more adoptable and acceptable. Well, guys, thank you very much for joining us today. We will have another action-packed, fun-filled episode tomorrow on video. Hopefully within the next 7 or 10 days, Ripple gets out of this lawsuit or we have a settlement, which is what we're really looking for. Other than that, I think tomorrow we're going to talk about the Pudgy Penguins. Are we? Yeah, they raise all kinds of money. Like everyone else is trying to raise all kinds of money. Yeah. Well, you guys take care and check us out tomorrow. Bye.